We're back at it again. Banlist can't stop us. The banlist basically didn't do that much. Onomats are still tier 0. As we can see on the tier list, Onomats are set to be tier 1, but I feel like this is kinda they are kinda lowering like it's not tier 0, but everything else is tier 3. But realistically, Onomats are tier 0. Everyone builds their decks around to play around Onomats. You're expecting to play against Onomats, and they're like, it's funny. Why would they not say it's tier 0? But okay. So yeah, what did the banlist do? Well, most decks, as you can see, this is not the usual build what I'm playing here. Most decks usually play Gaga Head, one Gaga Head and one Sister, and drop the Rhino. But I decided to drop the Rhino drop the Head, because we still do have a follow up in Gaga Coat and the Mancer. So we're losing a bit for sure. Gaga Head does get us more monsters, and it gets us a free draw and stuff like that. But I like a Gaga Coat and Mancer follow up. Also, Gaga Head can be a brick sometimes. So while Gaga Coat is amazing for our opening hand. So yeah, I feel like this is more cleaner version, more more clean version. Of course, I wouldn't call it the best version. You find what works the best for you. This is what I found that works very well for me. So yeah, you would play Gaga Head, maybe instead of one Utopic, or maybe one back row. And you would play Bouncer instead of Rhinoceros, and maybe another rank 6 instead of Insector. So yeah, I don't have any Book of Moons, so I'm playing Chalices. Chalice is on discount now, so you can get it for very cheap. I do recommend it. I got them for myself as well. So you can watch. Also, I made a video about the 50% gem sale, which boxes to go in, and Chalice is definitely my recommended card to go into now. So yeah, we have six back row cards. I feel like Lance is amazing, because not only we can use its effect to lower opponents' attack points, but also we don't have to randomly guess like with MSTs. We can just lance the stuff that needs to be lanced. Like if he has two back row and one is like a bolt set, so it's a bluff. Like MST is 50% chance that you will hit it, while lance is 100% chance to avoid that the real back row. So yeah, that's why Lance is on the rise. That's why Lance is amazing. So yeah, this is pretty standard version, nothing really the rest, like the monsters. The number of monsters, I like it very much. Maybe you can remove one Utopic even more. But I find this very well. I would definitely play books, like 2 to 3 books if I had them, but yeah. Also do consider removing Gaga Wind and Gaga Mancer, as some versions don't play them, play more traps to counter other versions of Onomats. So yeah, this is definitely not the best version, and you just have to play this version. I found lots of success with this version, so I'm showing you. I also want to say that I got a top 16 with this deck in a $500 tourney, which was like a week ago or something like that, maybe a couple of days ago. And there were like 400 players or something like that. And the top cut was 64 players. So top 16 is a very good achievement, I would say. Top 8 got prize support, So yeah, I was very close to getting the money, but yeah, this deck is very good. I would probably go even further if I had books, but yeah. The extra deck is pretty standard besides the Rhinoceros. Excalibur can be expensive, so you can remove it if you don't have it. You can play without it, but I would say M7 is very important. A Rhinoceros is pretty cheap, so you can play him. You can play even Bouncer if you like that version with the head more. Roach I find very useful, as it counters Resonators, it counters Harpies. So yeah, you would like to set up with the Rhinoceros plus Roach on your first turn. That would be optimal. Like, the most optimal board would be if you had like a Rhinoceros, a Roach, and Chalice or Lance. Yeah, that that would be amazing. But yeah, Gaga Samurai can be very useful with the Mancer, so we can go to 2400, double attack. One more thing, this is how the deck, how I would build my deck if I would play with the Gaga head. So you would remove one Utopic and you would put one head. In the extra deck you would switch Photon Strike Bouncer and Gaia Charger with the Rhinoceros and the Exabeetle. And yeah, that's the deck. Let's now jump straight into Duel Replays. Also, before we start, I would like to tell you to consider, of course, if you want to subscribe so you don't miss other videos when I'll be posting out in the future. Also, it does help to grow the channel so I can make more videos like this and I can focus on making videos on this channel. So yeah, please do so if you want. So anyways, let's continue with the video. So yeah, this is the best deck we have in the game. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think it can be a bit linear, but yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of consistency skills, as yeah, you have there is not much thinking in opening plays. You just do your combos and then you act on whatever happens. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but you know, what can you do? Okay, do draw. So he decides to end on the Utopic. I think he didn't use the skill, so he didn't want to go for the Bouncer, which is interesting. Yeah, this is where the big brains is happening when you're playing against the mirror match. I think that shows very well if it's tier 0 or not, but yeah. We go for the Sister. We already have the bolt, so we can search for the Wind. We can now bolt the back row. Okay. We can now switch up for the Utopic. We do have Lance for that back row, so we're chilling. So we can go for lethal plays here. We have the Wind, special summon the Utopic, go in for the Rhinoceros. We special summon with the coat. We destroy, and that's a GG. So yeah, this deck is extremely oppressive in the first couple of turns. So the decks that can last a bit longer can be very good against Onomats. So yeah, seems like we're playing. Cyber Dragons can be a bit problematic, as they can set like 3 back row, and they could set like a Drowning. And when you deal with 2 back row, you usually have the resources to deal with 2 back row. So yeah, it can happen that what is left, what you don't deal with, is the Drowning, and when they drown you, it's over, you just lose. Okay, so this is standard. Just open up your Cybernetic Fusion. Was that a good idea to do it right away? Shouldn't he have waited with that? I don't know. Sets to back row as well. We do the draw. Okay, get the sister search for the bolt. Now he decides to overflow. Now we can MST one back row, the other one. Okay, now we can special summon the code, bring back the utopic, destroy the back row, and we also have chalice for follow up or something. So yeah, that's a GG. Bolt the back row, and yeah, that's over. So yeah, I think this shows very well how the deck can be oppressive on the second turn. Like, you can power through. You saw he had the complete board. He had a pop, he had the back row removal, and the one more back row, and the full field of monsters. So yeah, and we powered completely through all of that. Okay, so this is not the best opener. We want to have at least two on a mat card. We do have decent chances to get two of our on a mat card, but yeah, shit happens. So we get the sister. We can set all of our back row as well, and then wait with the bolt for the next turn. So we're playing against Gaia. Against Gaia, MSTs are definitely better than lances, but to pop the field spell. But yeah, we chalice here. So he destroys our sister. That's why maybe we should have waited with the sister, but okay, because now we are kind of locked out of rank 6 exceeds. That's why Gaga head can be potentially better, but okay. We decide to pop his monster. Okay. So we chalice again. He destroys again, and now we're in a pretty bad spot. We have to top deck shit. He also has a back row, but we have a lens. And the problem is that we can't. He has 2500 life points. So even if we Malevolent Sin, it's not good enough. And we top deck Coat, which was amazing. Special summon, Chalice activates. So if he had 100 life points less, it would be a GG. But okay, we decided to go for Malevolent Sin. This is where I accidentally misclicked. I didn't activate its effect to get 300 attack point boost. So he wouldn't be able to do that play, Dark Flare Dragon into destroying our Malevolent Sin. But yeah, another monster was good enough, it seems. Okay, Odeon. Now, Odeon, we like playing against Odeon more with our side deck, because we can side in more back row removal, because we usually don't care like Chalice. We don't need Chalice against Shiranui, we need more back row removal. But we can also power through some back row. So Sister searches for the Bolt. Bolt is okay, he finishes chains. We activate Lance to protect ourselves. So we get our bolt, and now we already managed to go through two back row. He activated Fiendish, which was one back row, and now we can Gaga bolt the other back row. Okay, so he couldn't have Ballista Squad because Sister is unaffected. We go for the coat, he floodgates. Okay, we set the Chalice and we're chilling. Now he top decks another set card. Okay. We now have Lance to protect ourselves from one back row. But the problem is that we don't have a clear path. Like, if we destroy his monster, he goes into his Shiranui monster and we lose. So we have to be a bit cautious. So let's see. We could have negated that the Fiendish chain with the lance to potentially go in. We're kind of afraid of the back row because we can go for the Constellar Ptolemy, bounce the coat, special normal summon the coat, special summon the Utopic, and yeah, we can potentially lethal, but we don't have enough. We have only one lance, so let's see. So this is our opportunity because he drew something which wasn't very useful to him. We MST the Fiendish. We could have also MST'd the other back row, but okay. We go for the Constellar Ptolemy. We go to bounce. We misclicked here. If we bounced the coat, it would be GG. Because we can normal summon the coat, special summon the Utopic. We have lance to negate his back row, and yeah, it would have been a GG. But yeah, this is still fine. Now the problem is that he can get another one of his back row. But yeah, he decides to Canadia in the draw phase, so he can floodgate me when I flip it back. But we do have lance, and yeah, that's a GG. So yeah, as you can see, we can deal with back row. It's not that we can deal with basically anything they throw at us, and that's why this deck, especially in a side deck, in tournaments where there are side decks, that's why it's so good, because you can inside deck put whatever you have to deal with, really. Okay, so this is actually not a bad hand. We do want to top deck into something to do the draw. With, and we do so. We had 4 cards, so it's not that big luck, but okay. We go for the sister. Sister searches bolt. We can bolt the back row. He has a TTH. We lance, and that's a GG. We special summon the code, special summon the Utopic, and yeah. And the last duel we have for today, against Supreme King Jaden. Oh no, Jaden has, maybe even Quattro has. I'm not sure. I should check. Who has which skills? Maybe both. Maybe they both have Alert by Darkness. Supreme King Jaden has definitely. So yeah, that's why he has 25 cards. We played last duel against Thunder Dragons, so we're kind of expecting them as well. So that's why we go here to grab our coat. We set 2 back row. Oh, we also did field delay, so that's how we 100% knew that it was Thunder Dragons, because only Thunder Dragons have delays in their opening hand on our turn. We knew he had a dark. He discards it. He goes for the Lupine. We decide to negate here, which was an interesting choice. Okay, he special summons the Hawk, ends the turn. And if he doesn't have hand traps, that's a GG. So let's see. So we know 2 of his cards. We know he has 1 Dragon Dark, and we know he has 1 Hawk. So we can kind of risk it and go for lethal plays, because we know 50% of his hand is. We know 50% of his hand. So yeah, sometimes you have to risk it a bit. You can't play it. If we play it safe, he can top deck a Levianeer. He can top deck more hand traps. So then we're in a pretty bad spot, and our deck kind of struggles against Thunder Dragons. So that's why we in our side deck we are better. Like we side deck Lancia, we can side deck even Necro Valley or whatever, Shadow Imprisoning Mirror as well. So yeah, we can deal in our side deck. We can deal pretty easily with Thunder Dragons. So yeah, without side deck, it can be a bit problematic. As you see, we have more back row, more stuff to play around back row. We have MSTs, we have lances, which are dead cards basically against Thunder Dragons. But yeah, anyways, so he scoops as he know, as he knows it's over. And yeah, that's it for this video. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're new. That helps a lot to grow the channel. That helps a lot so I can know which videos to make. And yeah, it does help a lot so I can make more videos like this. But yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.